Hey guys, I just want to do a quick DVD update, and I'm going to start off with Blu-rays. I don't have that many this time. There will be some new Blu-rays coming out in the next couple of months, and I have pre-ordered those, but this time not too many. And also, if you'll stick around like towards the end, I'm going to do a few VHS. So if you're looking to just see my Blu-ray, I'm putting that at the beginning, DVD in the middle, and then VHS at the end, so you can skip to the last however many videos these are. First one I'll talk about, it's probably a lot of people are talking about this. Zombieland, excellent. I really like this. I don't think there's very many people out there that thought they would be interested in Zombieland that haven't seen it yet. But if you haven't, I won't run anything. There's some cool cameos, and there's just it is what people would say the American version of Shaun of the Dead. Yes and no. I mean, when you say American version, it's not a remake. It's not anything similar to the storyline, but it is an American story of comedy along with a zombie movie. It's pretty funny. Not as many zombies in this as I'd like. I mean, there are highlights in this where it goes through big zombie moments, but for the most part, it does feel more like a comedy than it even is as a parody of a zombie movie. So, but either way, it's very good. Still worth checking out. Next one I'll talk about, these two here, and I can talk to them, about the same way. This is Coraline. I'd actually already seen this. I'd seen it on DVD, and I just wanted to see it in 3D on high definition Blu-ray, just to see what the difference would be. So not much to say there. If you like Nightmare Before Christmas, this is kind of a similar style of animation. Other than that, that's it. I just want to check it out in 3D. I haven't got a chance to yet. I just got that recently. Just been on my 3D kick the last couple of months since Avatar, or last month or so. Same way with this, Journey to Center Earth. I don't really expect much for this. It's kind of a kid's movie, but I want to see how good the 3D is, and I want to see it in high definition. I had seen this on DVD as well, and I mean, not too impressed with the story, but I thought 3D was good. Now I'd like to see it in Blu-ray, see how good that looks compared to that. And this is my last Blu-ray that I've got recently, and I haven't seen this yet. I've been trying to see this for the last few days and just haven't got around to it. A Serious Man, I didn't really hear that much about it when it came out to movie theaters, even though a lot of critics raved about this. It's Coen Brothers film, so if you like their stuff, I mean, this is probably the kind of movie you would like if you like that. I kind of feel like the way the critics have been talking about it, this is going back to the roots of their funnier stuff, like Raising Arizona, that kind of thing. Brother, Where Art Thou? If you're into that style of Coen Brothers, that's what this is, Not necessarily more of their serious movies, Blood Simple, things like that. Okay, now just a couple of comedies. I was a little bit late getting on these, but they finally kind of had some good prices on these movies. I Love You, Beth Cooper. I thought it was pretty funny. It's kind of an oddball movie, but if you like teen comedies, this is pretty typical, but it's got a little bit of a different spin on it. But nothing too spectacular there, but it's definitely worth renting. If you have Netflix. Next movie I'll say is probably very similar in like in the kind of quality. Miss March. I thought this was a pretty good movie. It's funny, a little over the top, maybe a little funnier than I Love You, Beth Cooper, but that could be argued either way because it's a different style of humor in a few parts, but for the most part it's still a teen comedy. So if you kind of like those kind of movies, those are not too bad. This is the next one is the remake of The Stepfather. I actually finally got around to watching this last night. Thought it was pretty good. I will say the acting's good. The story is okay, a little predictable, but if you're a fan of the original Stepfather, you might as well give it a try. It's not bad. It's kind of got a few parts in there that, whether you've seen the original Stepfather or not, you're kind of going to figure out what's going to happen. But I thought the acting was really well done. The next one we'll talk about is A Perfect Getaway, and this is kind of one that kind of slipped in under the radar for me. I didn't really hear that much about this, and when I did hear about it, I didn't really know what this movie was about. I don't think the trailers did much justice to kind of portraying what kind of style, what genre of movie this would be. But very, very interesting suspense thriller. It's definitely not your typical storyline. So, you know, if you like that style of movie, psychological thrillers, suspense thrillers, this could be a good one to watch, because I think you'll be, you know, kind of surprised by it. The next few I've got are all ones that I've seen previously, but I haven't watched them since I've got them on DVD. This is Nightmare on Elm Street, and I actually picked this up because I just wanted to see the special edition before the special features. And it was kind of hard to find it with a slipcase. I ended up finally finding somebody that still had a slipcase, and they were selling this, and this is new, unopened. But I've got the original box set that came out in the late 90s, and I just really wanted to see some of these all new features, and plus it's been remastered. I think it's going to come out on Blu-ray pretty soon in the exact same format, but I kind of wanted it on DVD to put with my other DVDs from that collection. The next two movies, this is a movie I saw, 3 O'Clock High, and just recently, and I very, very was pleasantly surprised that I hadn't seen this before. I heard a lot of people talking about it. If you watch the Roughcuts, Katie blogs on there, and Katie had talked about this movie, and that night I went to Netflix and it was on Freeview. I watched it on my computer and really liked it, but you know how it is on Freeview. I really would prefer to own the movie if I really like something like that. So I picked it up, and I got it at a pretty decent price. And I think it's probably an excellent 80s movie. If you haven't seen it, it's very good. The next one is very odd. I watched this on Netflix also and was able to get it at a super cheap price. And this is Amusement. I would probably say that this is going to get a lot of split reactions no matter what I say. There's probably a lot of people that hate this movie. There's a lot of people that were very surprised by how good it is. And I think that most of the ratings that you would see on like Amazon or something like that are kind of split like that too. A lot of like 3 to 4 stars, 1 star, you know. Probably not a whole lot of 5 stars, but this is actually a very well done movie. And the acting, the cinematography, you know what I mean. The way the movie is set up, it looks very professional. This could have been a big, big hit. The story, on the other hand, is oddly put together. I think you could watch this 5 times and see a half a dozen ways that this movie could have gone that would have made it a little bit better. There is a really good, I guess you would say, like the killer. He's got an interesting style. I don't even know how to describe how well done the killer is to say that it's really not even hashed out the way it should have been. It's very odd. It feels like it's 3 stories in one. There's a lot of cuts back and forth to things that happened earlier. Does it tell you when? Does it tell which characters you're following? You never really feel like you're seeing a central character. Like, you know, like normally you would see like the heroine in a story go up against the killer and her friends would be picked apart. You know, I mean, that formula is so overdone. But in this case, if they would have used something like that, I think the story would have fallen into a linear fashion that everybody would, you know, expect. Other than that, I think you should check it out. I think there's some interesting stuff going on in here. It didn't come together right. But I actually kind of liked it. It's just interesting. But I got it for like $4 shipped. So if you can get $4 shipped, you know, I mean, there's nothing really wrong with even a bad movie at that cheap.